I've been very, very clear on my support for this project for the past 7 years. Our officials in Washington have continued to make the case for Keystone XL.
Killing the Keystone pipeline isn't even particularly good for the environment. Let's talk about that for a minute, and then we'll get into who wins and who loses by Joe Biden's decision on his first day in office to kill the Keystone pipeline from Alberta to Nebraska and then on to the coastal refineries in the United States. Keystone is a more efficient way of moving oil than oil by rail. This isn't a decision about pumping the oil out of the ground or not pumping it out of the ground. It's still going to get out of the ground. It's going to get to the refineries, it's going to be processed, and it's going to be burned as fuel or used in petroleum products, which means the emissions are going to come out one way or the other. So isn't it better to use a pipeline which is more environmentally friendly to do that than to ship it by train after train after train after train? Of course it is. So the environment doesn't gain very much by the pipeline being canceled on Biden's first day in office. This is mostly about satisfying the left wing of the Democratic Party in the United States, the Tom Steyers, the former hedge fund billionaire who's now become a major environmental activist. It's about satisfying Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the lefties in the Democratic Party. But who do we blame for that? Well, first of all, of course, you have to blame Joe Biden. But I think, too, there's enough blame to go around for our own prime minister. After all, in 2015, when the Obama administration first stopped the Keystone XL pipeline, Trudeau didn't put up much of a fuss then. Since 2015, he's killed two of our own all-Canadian pipelines, Energy East and Northern Gateway. He has sent all sorts of other signals that he's anti-oil. He's the most anti-oil leader in the Western world. Do you think the Biden administration didn't notice that? Do you think that he, Trudeau, fought all that hard in his first phone call with Joe Biden last fall after the U.S. election, that he fought all that hard for Keystone? The Americans aren't dumb. They saw that Trudeau is against new mega projects. He is in charge of the Trans Mountain Pipeline, but he's doing very little to get that finished. We haven't seen a lot of protests on that just yet, that the Prime Minister has to be tough on. The Americans probably saw how weak Trudeau is in defense of our energy industry, and they said, we can cancel this, and the Canadians aren't going to put up much of a stink. That's how this got canceled, and it's bad for the environment.